So not that long ago, Matt D'Avella shared a video titled, "Is This the End of Minimalism?" And while the final conclusion of that video was simply that minimalism as a trend is fading, his video sparked quite a big reaction and thus started a brand new trend. The trend of asking, is this really the end of minimalism? And to counter the argument that minimalism might be dead or dying, I want to ask you one simple question. Where do minimalists keep their umbrellas? Think about it for a second, and we're gonna come back to this question. What's up, fam, and welcome back. My name is Marissa, and minimalism literally changed my life. I went from being a sad, emotional hoarder who couldn't let go of anything following the loss of my family to someone who conquered my fear of letting go, leading us to declutter our entire home and move to Europe with only 8 suitcases. So needless to say, minimalism has been a huge part of my life for the past 5 years, and maybe because minimalism is so important to me, I had a lot of feelings when I saw all these videos asking the question, is minimalism dead? And who says minimalism is dead anyway? Well, really no one, because almost all of the videos conclude that minimalism as a lifestyle still has a lot of value. And really this isn't even a new question, because going back as far as April 2019, there are already videos discussing the end of minimalism. But what a lot of people might not even realize is that the core concepts of minimalism, such as simplifying your life or living with less, go back way further, even thousands of years. If you look at the works of Marcus Aurelius in Meditations, in the philosophy of Stoicism, and the life and practices of monks and Buddhists, etc. So it's kind of funny to say that minimalism might be dead or dying when it's based on ideas and principles that have literally been around for thousands of years. So the whole point of these videos is that minimalism is becoming less trendy. And this isn't opinion or speculation, this is an objective, identifiable fact. You can literally look at Google Trends and see the chart that there was a big spike of interest in 2017, and then after that it's been on a slow downward trend. And to that I say, who cares? Do you know what else is trending down? Frugal living. Yes, believe it or not, living frugally is also on a downward trend. And in fact, you could say it's even trending down in a bigger way than minimalism. Does that mean that people are no longer interested in living frugally or want to save money? Heck no. Trends come and go, but those of us who are real minimalists know that we didn't get into minimalism because it was trendy. Instead, we wanted to focus on the real benefits of living a minimalist lifestyle, and that by letting go of clutter and things that we don't value or that don't make us happy, we can create more space in our life for things that do matter and that we enjoy. And I think we need to touch on the minimalist aesthetic versus the minimalist lifestyle. We are humans, and that means that we all have different values and beliefs, and because of that, minimalism should theoretically look very different for everyone. So what does a minimalist look like? Well, if you were to believe YouTube, you might think that this is what minimalism looks like. But what about this? Or even this? Does wearing colorful clothing or having a large kitchen make me less of a minimalist? According to some people in my YouTube comments, it does. If you look at the top viewed minimalism videos of all time, you'll notice a lot of white and neutral colors, plenty of empty space, and lots of people sitting on the floor. And I've often wondered if I were to recreate my viral video, the one about my 5-year extreme decluttering journey to declutter 30 years of emotional hoarding, only that time I shared an image, a thumbnail of me wearing a red dress instead of my linen dress that you see in the picture, would that video have gone viral? I'm guessing it probably wouldn't have. And I think that that's why so many people have been waving goodbye to minimalism lately, because they've gotten too caught up in the aesthetics of minimalism versus living their best and most authentic minimalist life. Consider this quote from the Minimalists. Minimalism looks different for everyone because it's about finding what is essential to you. That's why I always encourage people not to get too caught up in the aesthetics of minimalism, but rather try to focus on finding what you value and creating more space and time for that in your life. What is minimalist living? So let's talk about minimalist living versus the aesthetics of minimalism. And for me, it all boils down to practicality. Do you remember that question that I asked you earlier? Where do minimalists keep their umbrellas? No, that wasn't some kind of weird minimalist joke. That was a real, actual question that I got from a follower on one of my videos. And I think that that question perfectly illustrates the difference between having a trendy minimalist home and living an authentic minimalist lifestyle. One is focused on achieving a certain look, and the other is more concerned with the practical day-to-day execution of how to actually live minimally. Questions like, how to declutter your home, what to do with the clutter after you've decluttered, and how to change your habits so that the clutter doesn't creep back, and how to shop less and save more. And not so much focusing on creating perfection, but rather how to make life less overwhelming and more manageable. It makes me want to say the F word. Should I say it? I'm gonna say it. Fun. It should give you more time to have fun.
Oh my gosh, like, are minimalists even allowed to have fun? Isn't that, like, illegal?
By the way, just in case you're curious about where we keep our umbrellas, they hang here in the entryway. When they are dry and when they are wet, we hang them in a bucket outside on the balcony to dry. This is actually the same bucket that my husband uses to clean the balcony when it gets dirty, so it's very practical for us. Friends, I know so well that the process of getting to minimalism can be hard, especially if you have a lot of stuff or a lot of emotions wrapped up inside of that stuff. But once you get there, minimalism makes life so much easier. And that's why anytime I see videos talking about how minimalism is hard or minimalism is painful, it makes me wonder if maybe they took minimalism too far. Because it's one thing to look like a minimalist, but then if you're unhappy because you're tired of wearing the same clothes over and over, or not having anywhere to put your shoes, or not having plates that you can feed guests should they come over to your house, then aren't you really missing the point of minimalism? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Never declutter yourself into a box to fit someone else's idea of minimalism. And it's funny because sometimes I joke that our home is like a total Monet.
What's a Monet?
It's like the painting, see? From far away it's okay, but up close it's a big old mess. Let's ask a guy.
Not that it's messy in the sense of clutter or dirt, but messy in the sense of love and usage and the history of items going back 5 years, 20 years, or even 80 years. And a lot of things in our home look their age upon closer inspection, like books that are falling apart, or clothes that I've been wearing for the past 20 years. And most of my favorite things in my home aren't even new or modern or minimalist looking at all, but things that hold special value to me and remind me of something significant in my past. Take this pink quilt, for example. This isn't exactly a minimalist aesthetic, but to me, this quilt is more special and meaningful than anything I could ever buy at a store. My grandmother secretly made me this quilt in 2003, 2 years before she lost her battle with cancer, so that she could still gift it to me at my wedding 5 years after she died. Oh my, but what's this? Oh, there was a penguin blanket hiding under there. That's right, folks. I got this blanket for my kids to play on when they were little because my oldest son is a big lover of penguins. And we've gotten so much use out of this blanket, and it's so cozy and warm and practical. So were we going to declutter it because it doesn't look minimalist? Heck no. And that goes for a lot of things in our home, like the colorful dragon curtains that we chose to celebrate my husband's Chinese culture, to the sentimental items that I have left from my family displayed with pride on my bookshelf. So here's why I think minimalism will never end. Because even if the trend of minimalism is fading, there's still going to be new people discovering minimalism all the time. And they're going to have questions like, what do minimalists have in their kitchen? How do I know what to keep and what to get rid of? And where do minimalists keep their umbrellas? And one of the best things about minimalism is how different all of us are. And I bet that if you gathered 10 minimalists in a room together, everyone would have a different answer to the question, where do minimalists keep their umbrellas? So my friend, that's why minimalism as a lifestyle is here to stay, and that although minimalism as a trend is fading, you still see new YouTube channels popping up every day to share their own take on decluttering or minimalism, and personally, I'm here for it. Because the more examples that we can see of people implementing minimalism practically in their everyday lives, the more we can normalize minimalism as a lifestyle and connect and understand each other better. So if you find yourself asking questions like any of the ones that I've mentioned before, or you just enjoy videos on decluttering, minimalism, or financial minimalism, I would love it if you would go down and hit the little red subscribe button and ring the bell to turn on all notifications so that you can join our minimalist family and see the new videos that we share every week. My goal here is to help you live your best and most authentic life, whether it's as a full-on minimalist or just by doing a little bit of decluttering and simplifying your home and your life. I want this to be a safe and non-judgmental space for you to come. So if you are interested to know more about decluttering or minimalism, make sure to go check out one of these videos, and I'll see you again next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.